700 local Ford employees are now on the picket line. Here's a live picture at just some of them. This is the Kentucky truck plant here in Louisville out on Chamberlain Lane, the largest single group to join this now historic strike against the big three U.S. automakers. And this is a big deal. Ford is one of the largest employers in the city, and the impacts of this strike will have far-reaching impacts. As you know, we followed this strike from day one. And for about a month now, we've known our local Ford employees could join the strike at any time. And that time came yesterday around 6:30 p.m. last night. We should be clear, this is the Kentucky truck plant that is on strike, not the Louisville Ford assembly plant. Remember, we have two Ford plants here in Louisville. So this is the Kentucky truck plant. They joined 5 other assembly plants across the country that are already on strike. And this is in addition, of course, to 38 GM and Stellantis parts distribution centers. WHAS 11's Taylor Woods went to the Kentucky truck plant to hear from employees who walked off the job.
Horns blaring and dozens of Ford Kentucky truck plant workers chanting down Chamberlain Lane as they officially go on strike. It came by surprise when the local 862 president, Todd Dunn, received a call from the national UAW president at 5:38 p.m. wanting KTP to join the strike.
They're behind us, so we're calling on Kentucky truck plant to stand up. We're dialed in.
In August, union members practiced a picket line, hoping for better pay and benefits before the contract expired September 14th. That didn't happen, and now nearly 8,700 workers are walking off the job.
We all want to get back to work. We all want to get a contract. It's time for Ford Motor Company to come the rest of the way to the table and work with our national negotiators.
Striking workers will receive $500 a week from the union strike pay fund. Although they didn't want to strike, workers like David Firkins say they hope this catches Ford's attention.
So by shutting this plant down, it's just showing Ford that we're not playing around no more. We gave concessions and they never gave back. We're wanting a fair day's work for a fair day's pay.
In a statement, Ford said, quote, "The decision by the UAW to call a strike at Ford's Kentucky truck plant is grossly irresponsible, but unsurprising, given the union leadership's stated strategy of keeping the Detroit Three wounded for months." They went on to say, quote, "In addition to our offer on pay and benefits, Ford has been bargaining in good faith this week on joint venture battery plants, which are slated to begin production in the coming year. But workers said they will strike until they get what they need." In Louisville, Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 on your side.
So this is a good opportunity to put some context with this. Kentucky's truck assembly plant is Ford's largest plant, and really it's one of the largest auto factories in the entire world. KTP produces the F-Series Super Duty Expedition and Lincoln Navigator, which generate $25 billion a year. That means the strike here could have some painful impacts. And that includes putting at risk more than a dozen additional Ford operations and suppliers that together employ well over 100,000 people. So here's where things stand right now when it comes to negotiations. The United Auto Workers Union is pushing for a 40% wage increase for members over a 4-year contract. They also want to reinstate cost of living protections and extend health care and pension plans to all employees. Remember, this isn't them asking for something new. They gave some of these things up during the 2008 financial crisis just to help Ford stay above water. And as more automakers look to a future in electric vehicles, the union wants to make sure those new EV plant employees are union employees. They also want to ensure protections are in place for when employees when existing plants shut down to shift to EV. Congressman Morgan McGarvey from Louisville shared his support of protesters, workers protesting. In a post to X, formerly known as Twitter, of course, McGarvey said in part, the workers deserve a fair contract, good benefits and wages, and safe working conditions. Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg also expressed support, saying he hopes that both Ford leadership and the UAW can rapidly come to an agreement which is mutually beneficial.